y vámonos. Venga. Right.
And would I like to fight him again, but it's a different mindset now, you know?
Ryan Garcia is gearing up for one of the biggest fights of the year, determined to prove he's the better man against Romero. After a controversial break from the ring, Ryan is on a mission to win back his fans with a performance like never before. Back in training camp, he looks stronger, faster, and more focused than ever, fully prepared for battle. But if there's one person who isn't fazed, it's Raleigh. In his eyes, this fight will be an easy night.
The only fight that I'm gonna fight that I would come back to fight is me versus Ryan.
Really?
Yeah, or me versus Tank, but you know.
Ryan Garcia is back in training camp, pushing himself harder than ever for his May 2nd showdown. He's not just preparing to get through the fight, he's aiming for perfection, determined to prove to his fans and rivals that he's the best. And the grind is real. Recently, Ryan gave a glimpse into the intense work he's putting in at the gym, making it clear he's leaving nothing to chance against Romero. For Ryan Garcia, this fight isn't just about winning, it's about making a statement. He believes he already proved he's levels above Romero when they sparred years ago, seeing that session as a preview of what's coming on fight night. But this time, it's different. Under the bright lights, Ryan isn't just looking to win. He's perfecting his signature left hook to make sure there's no doubt who the better fighter is.
You got the best left.
The best left in the world. Vamos, vamos.
Ryan Garcia hasn't forgotten their sparring session. He sees it as proof that he's the superior fighter. In his mind, Romero has been holding on to that moment, using it to fuel his confidence. Ryan doesn't mind though, he even gives Raleigh credit for making the most of it. But come May 2nd, he's ready to settle the debate once and for all. Raleigh, on the other hand, sees things completely differently. To him, that sparring session was just a gym battle with no real impact on what happens under the bright lights. If anything, he believes Ryan is the one stuck in the past.
You said earlier today when you were talking to the Ring magazine that Ryan Garcia is not chasing championships. He's basically just wants to be a model. What did you mean by that?
Well, he didn't make weight for his last 4 title fights, and he didn't even try to make weight with Tank, so and he's not chasing a belt. But we'll see. May 2nd.
What's the game plan to beat Ryan Garcia?
I already got a game plan.
Romero sees this fight as a whole new chapter, one where he's ready to prove he's not the same fighter Ryan Garcia remembers. He's also pushing back on the idea that he ever used their sparring session for clout. If you know Raleigh, you know he's built a reputation for his trash talk. Many, including Garcia, believe that's what got him this far in the sport. But Raleigh disagrees. He sees himself as a fighter who made his own name, not someone who rode Garcia's wave to success. In fact, he doesn't even think Ryan was a big enough name at the time for that to be possible.
Are you talking about in sparring?
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
8.
And you think that's relevant to this fight? You think you learned something back then you can take forward in this fight?
No, I wasn't really trying to learn that day. I was trying to whoop his ass.
For Romero, the only thing that matters is what happens on fight night. He sees this as a completely different challenge and is coming in fully prepared. To him, this isn't some sparring rematch, it's the biggest fight of his career, a chance to prove what he's truly made of. He's made it clear that this fight will be nothing like their session years ago. And beyond that, Raleigh firmly believes there are 3 things Ryan Garcia simply can't beat.
Tremendous fighter. He's a tremendous fighter. The only people he cannot beat happens to be myself, Gervonta Davis, and depression.
Despite Romero's confidence, not everyone is convinced he can get the job done. Trainer Abel Sanchez believes Ryan Garcia will simply be too big, too strong, and too powerful when they step into the ring. Sanchez sees Garcia as the far more skilled fighter and expects that to be the difference on fight night. In his eyes, Raleigh hasn't evolved much in recent years, and that, he believes, will be his downfall in this matchup.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight. A lot of bad blood. Both can crack. you would think on paper Ryan is the more complete fighter, right, Abel?
Ryan is the bigger, stronger, faster, bigger puncher. Ryan looks huge compared to Rolly. And I think that size and the power is going to be the difference. I think that Rolly is not really developed from, say, four or five fights ago. He's still the same guy. I don't know who he's working with now, but...
Rolly Romero has always relied on his size and strength to dominate opponents, but that strategy has its limits against elite fighters. He struggled against Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz, getting outclassed and overpowered in both fights. Now, heading into his matchup with Ryan Garcia, trainer Abel Sanchez doesn't see anything changing. He believes Rolly hasn't improved since those losses, or even since his controversial win over Ismael Barroso. In Sanchez's eyes, Rolly is still making the same mistakes he did several fights ago, and that's exactly why many believe Ryan will knock him out.
And see who would really win in the fight, you know what I mean? Because in sparring, anything can happen, you know what I mean? Like, anything can happen, but when it's real, when it's for everything, who wins?
Okay, who wins?
Me personally, I believe Ryan Garcia.
Knockout or by point?
I would say that fight ends in a knockout. Either.
What makes this fight so intriguing is the history between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. In their past sparring session, Rolly appeared to have the upper hand, pushing Garcia around and showing little respect for his power. That footage has led some fans to believe he can do the same when it truly matters. However, Garcia, and many others, see things differently. He's dismissed the idea that Rolly has improved since they sparred, pointing out the same flaws in his game. In Ryan's eyes, Romero still fights the same way, with the same weaknesses, and he's even questioned whether Rolly's durability has declined over time. Garcia has no doubts about the outcome. He's confident he'll win and fully expects to stop Romero inside the distance.
Any adjustments, to be honest. Still making a lot of the same mistakes, still kind of fighting the same. His chin actually looks like it's gotten a lot weaker.
Ryan Garcia's biggest advantage in this fight comes down to three key factors: speed, power, and size. While Rolly Romero has relied on physicality in past fights, Garcia now looks significantly bigger and stronger. His hand speed and punching accuracy have only improved, and he's proven he can hurt opponents with a single shot. That's exactly why trainer Abel Sanchez sees this fight going in Ryan's favor. Garcia simply has too many physical and technical advantages for Rolly to overcome. Rolly Romero's best shot at winning this fight is to pressure Ryan Garcia the way he did in their old sparring session. If he can back Garcia up, rough him up, and disrupt his rhythm, he might be able to turn it into a tough, physical fight. But that approach comes with serious risks, especially against someone as fast and powerful as Garcia. If Rolly makes the same mistakes he has in past fights, there's a high chance he gets caught and stopped before the later rounds. Despite this, Rolly isn't buying into the hype. Based on his comments, he doesn't believe Ryan is as good as people say, or as good as Ryan thinks he is.
Boxing for 3 years, or like, no, 4 years at the time.
You didn't have a really deep amateur background,
I started
right?
boxing at 17.
Okay. And Ryan was a national, like a multinational
Yeah,
champ?
multinational. Started boxing like 5 or something. Damn, it took him that long to evolve somewhat. I'm very impressed. He still hasn't been champion though.
Fair enough.
And the only times that he's ever had the opportunity to be champion was with Gervonta, but instead of trying to sacrifice the extra pound and trying to make 135, he decided not to. And then with Devin, who we clearly know he didn't even try.
Many fans are backing Ryan Garcia, believing that Rolly Romero hasn't evolved enough to compete at his level. With Garcia fully locked in and training harder than ever, the expectation is that he will dominate this fight and prove that their old sparring session was meaningless under the bright lights. This level of focus is a stark contrast to last year during Devin Haney's fight week. Back then, while other fighters were cutting weight and making final preparations, Ryan was out at clubs the night before the weigh-in. Instead of sweating off the last pounds in a sauna or running to make weight, he was in Central Park sipping wine with a woman. But this time, it's different. Garcia is all business.
Mucha precisión, vamos. 10 seconds.
Despite past setbacks, Ryan Garcia remains one of the biggest names in boxing. At just 26, he has already delivered massive pay-per-view numbers and held an interim WBC lightweight title. While some fighters take years to reach their prime, Garcia is ahead of schedule in both popularity and success. History shows that even late starters like Adonis Stevenson, who didn't begin boxing until his mid-20s, still became champions. By that standard, Garcia has plenty of time to refine his skills and reach his full potential. And for many fans, that journey has already begun.
Ryan Garcia going up to 147. I'm not going to say, I think he's going to be fast. I'm not sure if his strength is going to translate to 147. It went with him to 140, but that doesn't mean it's going to go with him to 147 because that's welterweight. And now, he's back with Eddie Reynoso. So I want to say, in my opinion, he looked all right with Eddie Reynoso. He looked his best, in my opinion.
Oscar de la Hoya understands the pressure of expectations better than most. As a six-division world champion who carried the hopes of an entire generation, he knows what it's like to be thrust into the spotlight at a young age. Now, as Ryan Garcia's promoter, he sees many similarities between his own journey and Garcia's struggles. The difference? Garcia is navigating his challenges in real time, under the scrutiny of millions, in an era where social media magnifies everything.
They land, they can do some damage. And Ryan Garcia, look, he's coming off, it's going to be about a year now. He's hungry. He's hungry to get on top.
Ryan Garcia's struggles with mental health have been well documented, but they haven't stopped him from pushing forward. His manager, Lupe Valencia, confirmed that Ryan is actively receiving treatment, a step many in the boxing world see as crucial for him to reach his full potential. What sets Garcia apart is his ability to perform at a high level despite the chaos in his life. Many fighters would have crumbled under the pressure, but he continues to fight, determined to prove himself in the ring. This time, even his own father has no doubts. He sees an early knockout coming for his son.
And that's exactly what happened. And I just thank God that he, look at him now. Doesn't he look better?
Yeah, definitely.
Of course. So,
he looks different.
It's better. It's beautiful. I love it.
Henry, when did you notice that Ryan needed like real help in order to, the way he sees right now, in order that he became, clean?
Well, I noticed that when he was talking, the way he was doing his videos, and he never posts that many times. So when you see that, there's a pattern, and when you start seeing a pattern, that's when you know something's up.
Henry, how do you see this fight playing out? Do you think it goes the distance, Rolly and your son?
I don't see it right now because the way Ryan is, when he's focused, look what happens to his opponent. He does drop him. So when he's focused like this.
And his father might be right. At his recent press conferences in New York and Los Angeles, Ryan Garcia looked composed, engaged, and confident. Gone was the erratic figure people saw last year. This time, he appeared refreshed, focused, and ready to make a statement against Romero on May 2nd. Despite all the past distractions, this version of Garcia feels different.
Rolly, he just said he's looking past you to fight Devin Haney. Does this concern you at all?
I think Devin should get the fight again.
But he said he's not even worried about you. He's not even thinking about you. He's looking forward to that fight. You're just going to be a bump in the road.
He can think whatever he wants. He knows me too well. So.
How easy is it going to be? How long will Rolly last with you in the ring?
2 seconds. Fast. There you go. Let me answer the phone. About 2 seconds. He's going to go to fight. I'm not taking him lightly or anything like that. I'm still going to try my best, but everybody really wants to see the rematch, and that's where my heart's at. So I just gotta prepare well, and I know I'm the better fighter.
But Rolly Romero isn't just confident. He's stepping into this fight like he already knows the outcome. At the most recent press conference, chaos erupted around him. Teofimo Lopez slapped Arnold Barboza, and Ryan Garcia traded heated words with Devin Haney. Yet, through it all, Rolly remained cool and unbothered. No nervous energy, no sign of pressure. Just the quiet confidence of a fighter who truly believes he has something special in his arsenal.
Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia would be an amazing fight, Me and Ryan sparred way back when, We sparred twice, and there's always it's gonna be. That fight will sell out. I know that fight will sell out. That's one of those mega fights that me and Ryan That's a fight I'm definitely interested in.
If there's one thing about Rolly Romero, it's that he truly believes in his power, and for good reason. Even Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of the hardest punchers in boxing, admitted that Rolly hit him the hardest in his career. "It felt like a bag of bricks," Tank said when asked about the strongest shot he's ever taken. That's a serious statement coming from a fighter who has shared the ring with knockout artists like Leo Santa Cruz and Mario Barrios. This also means one thing: if Romero can land clean on Garcia, the fight could take a dramatic turn.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously, I don't know how to say it, obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin now, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly can hit, bro. Like he can hit. And he's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his glove.
When Rolly Romero was told about Tank Davis's compliment, he didn't seem surprised. "I don't think anyone's doubting that," he said casually, as if it were common knowledge. That kind of self-assurance is what makes Romero dangerous. He doesn't see himself as the underdog, even though Garcia has more high-level experience and is coming off a strong performance against Oscar Duarte. And Romero's belief that he can hurt Garcia isn't just talk. He reminded everyone that he's already done it before. "I already have, many times," he said, referencing their amateur fights. While those bouts happened years ago and don't necessarily predict what will happen on May 2nd, they do give Romero a mental edge. He knows what it feels like to land on Garcia, and in his mind, history is about to repeat itself.
I mean, I hope he keeps training with Derek James. That shoulder roll, that's amazing. It was a good performance. Yeah, he won.
Yeah.
He stopped Jordan. Yeah, it was a great performance. It was a good performance, yeah.
When DAZN's Todd Grisham pressed Rolly Romero on whether those past fights really mattered now, Rolly played it cool. At first, he didn't even respond, letting the silence do the talking. When asked again if he could hurt Garcia the same way he did in the amateurs, he finally gave a simple, confident answer: "Of course." Romero's demeanor throughout the press conference said it all. He wasn't rattled, he wasn't emotional, and nothing Garcia did seemed to get under his skin. Even when Ryan laughed at him for holding a sock puppet, an odd but very on-brand move for Rolly, he didn't flinch. The grin on his face never faded, as if he knew something the rest of the world didn't.
Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Teofimo, and they're going to do a show in the middle of Times Square.
Yeah, putting Ryan on there is kind of smart. You know, that's right there. But then it's a solid match. Listen, Rolly and Ryan's an interesting fight because Rolly's hit or miss, bro. Rolly sometimes looks like where'd you find this guy off the corner, but sometimes he performs. There's a sparring session with Ryan and Rolly on YouTube where it looks like Rolly's doing pretty well in there. I'm curious about that fight. Rolly's back against the wall. He's got to perform. Everybody's curious about Ryan coming back. You got Devin Haney on the undercard against Ramirez. He's in court with Ryan. What happens if they cross paths at the weigh-in, even though they're not fighting?
What's clear is that Rolly Romero doesn't see Ryan Garcia as a real threat. Back in December, he told Boxing Scene that he stayed in peak shape, training consistently at Ismail Salas Gym in Las Vegas. He's determined to win another world title and doesn't believe Garcia has the discipline to stop him. Even before the press conference started, Romero was already taking shots, claiming Garcia cares more about being a model than a champion. That wasn't just trash talk, it was a direct hit at the biggest criticism surrounding Garcia: his commitment to boxing.
Who would you say is another good trash talker in boxing?
Right now, man, really, I mean, just that retarded ass fool Rolly, to be honest. Rolly right now probably runs his mouth the most, but he can't back it up. There's a difference between me.
Romero didn't hold back at the press conference. He made it clear that if things got personal, he was more than ready to take it up a notch. "I can talk trash in both languages," he said. "If you guys want, I can make this a trash talk fest." That kind of energy shows that Romero is fully embracing the mental game in the lead-up to this fight. He knows that getting under Garcia's skin could work to his advantage. But on fight night, talk won't be enough. He'll have to back it up. Coming off a brutal stoppage loss to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, he understands that another defeat, especially to Garcia, would be a massive setback. Yet, instead of looking like a man under pressure, Romero appears to be a fighter embracing the challenge. If Romero truly believes he hits harder than anyone Garcia has ever faced, he'll step into the ring on May 2nd with the mindset of a finisher. For him, this isn't just another fight. It's a chance to prove he's still a dangerous force in the 140-pound division. And in boxing, anything can happen. Just like when Gervonta Davis was expected to dominate Lamont Roach Jr. but found himself in a much tougher fight than anyone predicted, Garcia could be in for a real challenge against Romero. Styles make fights, and Romero's awkward yet explosive power could be the perfect weapon to disrupt Garcia's rhythm. While Garcia is the faster, more polished boxer, that doesn't guarantee an easy night.
The way he's acting now, like, it's like completely different than... It's just like, dude, you could just tell, like, he's doing it for money. It's not, I don't even want to bring up the topic, you know,
Romero is aggressive, unorthodox, and fully confident in his power. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change the course of a fight. One clean shot can shift momentum in an instant. Despite coming off a tough loss, Romero isn't doubting himself, and that makes him dangerous. If Garcia isn't fully locked in, this fight could turn into an all-out war. In boxing, nothing is guaranteed until the final bell rings. That's why we watch, because anything can happen when two warriors step into the ring. And on May 2nd, we just might get some surprises. What's your take? Drop a comment below and subscribe for more updates.